Hey, agency owners, wanted to talk to you today about reporting and the setup of your financial statements. Not a really exciting topic, but an extremely important one, as obviously, as a business owner, the point of the business is to generate profit. And what I see happen so frequently is that the financials are set up so that it is not really easily processed for analysis and created for analysis. So I wanted to walk you through some steps if your financial statement isn't providing you a lot of insight into how your business is operating, on how you can set it up so that it does provide you with some insight. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you for a moment here. And so the mindset that your business needs to be set up so that it can actually create that is that you want to set up the primary piece that I see happen is that you don't actually have your cost of goods or cost of sale set up. So what in cost of goods and cost of sales, all of the expenses that are related to the production of the service that you're offering. So we want to make sure that we have this very clearly outlined of for every dollar that you bring in or every $100 that you bring in, how much does it cost your agency to actually produce the work? That includes your salaries for billable employees. That includes media, if you're doing any media buys. That includes any cost of any outside freelancers, any software that's related directly to the production of the service that you're delivering, from even something as simple as like Adobe, Photoshop, InDesign, that type of software. You want to make sure that you're actually building into your cost of sale, understanding what it actually costs for you to deliver your product and deliver your service. What I would also say is that you want to make sure that your cost of sale is set up to really clearly align with your sales budget. The reason why this is incredibly important, and the vast majority of financials that I look at when clients are being onboarded with us, is that it's not thought about and set up that way. If they are doing a sales budget and budgeting before the prospect is sold and has a signed contract, that the sales budget doesn't translate and isn't utilized for anything. So what I would like to see, and hopefully you can get this set up with you in your own agency, is set up the financials so that you can compare your sales budget to what actually happened and get a budget versus actual and what happened with every single project. And you want to have it set up in the same way that you have your sales budget in specific buckets with the detail between it. So let's say that you're an experiential agency. You want to have things broken up into the brand ambassadors, to the sponsorships, to the actual cost of giveaways, all that type of stuff that actually goes into the production of that event. You want to make sure that you have every single bucket. And then between the sponsorships, you want to have different tiers of sponsorships, the types of giveaways, the types of graphic work, the types of collateral, the types of assets that are actually needed for that event. And the same thing is going to happen in digital media, creative, all of those. You want to make sure that you have it down into those buckets with some detail so you can actually get further along into it. And the piece that I want to really hone in on here is that it's very difficult to add detail that's not there. So you want to be able to have as much detail that is easily creatable, that isn't going to cause any detriment in the amount of time that it takes to build that detail. And then when it comes to your general and administrative expense, you want to break it into a couple different buckets. Those buckets that you're going to want to build them into are pretty simple. You want to have HR and payroll. What does it cost for you to administratively run your agency? What employees are actually necessary across the entire business? So these are going to be any assistants. These are going to be any non-billable employees of the company. So this is your overhead expense that you are going to have to hit. And the billable employees should be able to flex up, flex down, depending on the amount of revenue you have. The administrative employees are the ones that you have to keep no matter what. And that's the piece that you want to make sure that you understand. What is it actually going to take for me to keep the business going and surviving? You are going to have to consider payroll for billable employees when you do understand your burn rate and your minimum revenue number that you can sell, but that's a little bit further down the line. The other piece that you want to have is a full administrative cost. This is going to be insurance. It's going to be cost of software, things like that actually go into the operation of the business. What I like to break out separately is the cost of the physical location at the office as well. So you want to break in the cost of printers, cost of desks, cost of rent, all of that type of stuff that goes into actually having a physical location if you do. And then the final piece that you want to think about here is sales and marketing. More often than not, and this is probably the only area that I do tend to say that agencies need to spend more money, is that the vast majority of agencies are spending little to nothing in this arena. And you actually do need to be spending if you're looking to scale. I'm not a proponent and a believer that you have to outspend your competition. I think that you need to spend wisely and make sure that it's the right size for your agency to allow for you to grow without causing a hindrance. But it is important that your agency is spending here, and you do need to be spending whatever makes sense as a proportion of revenue in that specific arena, depending on the type of agency that you are and the services you're offering. If you have any questions on what you should actually be spending in sales and marketing, or anything that I've gone over in this video, please feel free to comment below. Shoot me an email at robert@creativeagencysuccess, and please remember to smash that subscribe button.